Hey, how's it going? This is Joe Intel, and today I'm going to be talking about the Micca OoO speakers. Alright, so these are the Micca OoO speakers, and these are an MTM design, meaning it's a mid-range, tweeter mid-range, and they're using Kevlar woofers, but they're 3 inches each. Okay, alright. Well, right off the bat, as you can expect, these are not meant to have a ton of bass. They're actually meant to be very sleek, and the cool thing is you can use them horizontally. I have it set up over there, or vertically, right there. I prefer to have them horizontally because the dispersion pattern is wider, and that's what I like. I like a wider sweet spot, and so that's what it does for me. Now, if you want to keep it vertical, then that's fine too. You can do it that way, and it still sounds good. So Micca is known for making very inexpensive speakers, and these are no exception to that. So as of this video, these are coming in at under $100 for a pair. Make sure to check the link in the description to see the most updated price. These are affiliated links, so make sure to check those out. Now, like I was saying, these are small speakers, right? So you can set these up in a home theater. You can buy them as a pair, or you can buy them single. And that's handy if you want to use one as a center channel, or you can go all out and get all of your speakers Micca OoOs. What a weird name, but I get it. It makes sense. OoO, so big O, little o, big O, kind of looks like the speakers themselves. So you can use this in a 2-channel or home theater setup. My recommendation, 100%, is something that I've said before, which is to make sure you have a good sub. In my opinion, a subwoofer is a very good place to spend your money. I've said it before, and it's because if you need to sell a sub later on, if you want to upgrade, if you get a good one, you'll be able to resell it, right? If you get something that's very inexpensive, maybe $100, $150 sub, it's going to be really tough to sell that. So my recommendation is to go ahead and spend a little bit more, save up if you have to, but my recommendation is usually my show sponsor, which is SVS. And SVS offers a few different subs. You can start off with something simple like the SB1000 or the PB1000. Then you can go up to the 2000 series, the 3000 series, 4000. And if you're crazy, you can go with the PB16 Ultras, which is their biggest, baddest subwoofer. What's even crazier is they offer a 45-day guarantee. So if you want to try out a sub in your house, you can do that. If you don't like it, go ahead and ship it back, which is crazy because you can imagine what the shipping cost is on a sub like that. If you're unsure about what to get, you can always give them a call and they'll have somebody who can consult you with that. So once again, shout out to SVS, the show sponsor. I'll leave a link in the description to them. Make sure to check them out. So back to the OoO speakers. What else can I say about them other than I really like the way they sound? So I've been using these in my home theater for the past month, and typically I have some speakers there that are 10 times the cost. And I can say that I was more than happy with these. Even my wife said, you know what? I don't mind those. Those sound pretty good. And she's usually the first one to say if she doesn't like speakers. If something sounds tinny or harsh, she's like, get those out of here, put the other speakers back. But she liked these. And so I like them. I was happy. So this is an MTM design, also known as D'Appolito design. And I'm not going to pretend to know all the details, but basically having the 2 mid-ranges on the side helps with some of the lobing properties. And basically dispersion is assisted with them set up on both sides of the tweeter like that. Now, depending on the way you have these, it's going to sound different. So if you have them vertical, right, then that helps with the off-axis response vertically, right? That means if you stand up or sit down, they're going to sound pretty consistent or more consistent than a typical average 2-way design. Now, I have them set up horizontally in my house, and that helps off-axis, meaning if I move side to side, it doesn't completely destroy the imaging, right? So it makes the sweet spot wider, which is something that I like. Overall, what I've noticed as far as the sound signature is, to me, it sounds pretty smooth. Now, one thing I want to reiterate is these are not meant to play loud. If you plan on playing these without a subwoofer, without a crossover, you're not going to be able to play them too loud. They're just small speakers, and that's the trade-off. Now, if you have it set up the way I do, which is I have them cut off at 80 hertz, and then from there I have the sub, the SB3000s taking over from there, they sound awesome. They can play more than loud enough in my situation. Now, if you have a huge room, you're probably going to want some bigger speakers and more efficient speakers, right? So what they've done here is they were able to make these play some bass, like a surprising amount of bass, but what you sacrifice is some of that efficiency, and it has a pretty low sensitivity of 83 decibels. So that's pretty low if you ask me. And so you're gonna need a pretty powerful amp. Luckily, like I'm saying, if you cross them over, then you should be able to play them pretty loud without any distortion. As far as other specifications, this is a ported box. They're using a 3/4 of an inch silk dome tweeter. So Micca is known for investing money into the crossover network, which helps with the sound signature, and it's no different here. It's using a 6 decibel per octave low pass filter and a 12 decibel per octave high pass filter. Impedance is anywhere between 4 and 8 ohms depending on the frequency, and they claim an in-room frequency response of 60 hertz to 20 kilohertz. We're gonna test that in a bit. And also power handling is anywhere from 15 to 75 watts. As far as the look of it, they look pretty basic, pretty simple, but nothing offensive. And they're small. They kind of have a look of that RB42 that I reviewed previously. Same finish, same color. Now, the one downside I would say is they're not the best veneered speakers. I mean, I did see some flaws in them, but what can you expect at the price? The other thing is they do come with a grill cover. They're not magnetic. They have little pegs. So another thing that you have to look for if you're planning to use these without a grill. They're not as good looking as something without any holes for the grill, but again, the price. These are really compact speakers. They're not very much bigger than a stack of books. Realistically, that's really how small they are. And as far as sound, I think they're more than enough for their size and their price. I could easily recommend these paired with something like the SMSL AD18 that I previously reviewed. And because that has an optical input, you could connect that to your TV. And I would almost always prefer these and a good sub to any soundbar. Actually, I would probably prefer these without a sub to most of the soundbars that I've previously reviewed. And that's saying a lot because some of the soundbars I've reviewed are upwards of $1,000 MSRP. And these, with that AD18, is gonna be under 300 bucks. So that's kind of crazy. But yeah, there you have it. I know a lot of you guys are gonna ask, how do these compare to the MB42Xs and the RB42s, both speakers made by Micca? I would say compared to the RB42s, these don't have as much bass. But the MTM does have some advantages, specifically that wide dispersion pattern, which gives you a wider sound stage. And so that's something that these do better than the RB42s. But if you're not gonna use a sub, the RB42s are gonna be the way to go. Also, the MB42Xs are also inexpensive speakers from Micca, and I would say that they sound different. Those are a little bit brighter in my opinion, and so those can play louder, they're more efficient. And so if you need to be able to play them louder and you don't mind having slightly bigger speakers, then MB42Xs are still a good option. Overall, I could easily recommend these. If you were to set these up as your left, center, right, and then some rear speakers, if you could mount them on the ceiling, I mean, that would be pretty cool. I think you could easily get away with having a setup with all of these as your Dolby Atmos system. Just make sure you have a sub. So as always, gotta put them on the speaker leaderboard. Let's see how they fare. All right, so here we are at the speaker leaderboard, and we have the Micca OoOs. And so this fits in a few different categories. First, let's do best bookshelf, because these definitely do fit on a bookshelf. A lot of these speakers are much more expensive. AI60s are powered, RB42s, Yamaha SA803s, Pioneers. So for a few things to note is that these are much smaller than not much smaller, but they're smaller than these BS22 LRs. So in a sense, it's better on a desktop if you're looking for something that's compact, but I do think that the Pioneers sound better overall. The AI40s, they sound very good and they are powered. I would say, this is tough. There's a lot of good bookshelf speakers, the U6, the U4s, these are all powered. I would say, I mean, just appropriately, they would go above the Bose 301s, just because the 301s are huge. Definitely not great for, depending on your bookshelf, I guess. But I would say I like them better than those. Yeah, right there. The MK402 BTs, those were good too. MB42Xs are also good. And the PB42Xs, yeah, I would feel pretty comfortable putting them right here above the Bose. Just got me thinking, because I was thinking more desktop actually. These Bose do have more bass, I'll give them that. This is a tough one. I'm gonna actually go ahead and change that
because we have the OOOs, we have the MK402s. I think I'm gonna have to put them, this is tough, somewhere in here, either above or below the 301s. They're pretty close. The 301s have more bass, but their soundstage is very weird because of that direct reflect. I did make a video about that. These have a more traditional soundstage, and so, but those 3-inch drivers, they're just very small, so they're not gonna get as deep as this 8-inch driver in the 301. So that's a trade-off. I'm gonna have to put it, I think this is safe right here. All right, so best for desktop. I think these are actually very good for the desktop because they are small. You will need a amp for these. So some of these offerings here, the Totem Kin plays, the Kanto Tuck, the Vanna2 Transparent 1 Encores, the Dynas, the Fluence AI60s, all of these, the Transparent T0s, these are all powered speakers. So that's why they're so good for a desktop. You don't need anything else. You can plug them directly into your laptop or desktop and they'll start working. Let's see here. MB42, nope, it's not better than those. Not better than the AI40s. And these U4s are really made for the desktop. I think they're gonna get close to these MK402s, but these MK402s, I like the way that the OOO sounds better, but because these 402s have, because they are powered, I would prefer them. I would say, this is tough. I mean, maybe slightly above the MB42Xs, just because you can lay them flat if you want to, or you can put them vertical. These are very close. I think they're very close to the MB42Xs. I'm a sucker for a wide soundstage, and that's what this design gives me. I think the MB42Xs are a little bit brighter. The PB42Xs are powered, which would typically give them an advantage, but because I feel like their amplifier in that is not the best, I would rather have separates to get the most out of this speaker, because basically the PB42X is just the MB42X with an amp. I would rather have the MB42X with an amp. So that's where those place. Best under $100, MB42X, MK402s. And I'm gonna go ahead and put these right above the MK402s. I just like the fact that they give you different types of placement options. Vertical, horizontal, you can set up a bunch of them. You can use one as a center channel. You can use them as rear speakers. They're small enough if you wanted to mount them on the ceiling. I think they're small enough to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them right here under the Pioneer BS22 LRs and above the Dayton Audio MK402 BTs. And last but not least, let's go ahead and place these temporarily right here. All right, so best overall. So it's definitely not the best overall. These are $99 for a pair as of right now. Check the link in the description to see the most updated pricing on these. They're not better than their Micca RB42s. Not better than those. Overall, regardless of sound. Now, the limiting factor is the 3-inch drivers won't allow it to get too loud, right? So in a certain scenario, there's a certain scenario where they sound really good, which is with an 80 hertz crossover and with a nice sub. But I'm talking about just the speakers by themselves. All right, so overall, so here's the thing. This is best overall sound regardless of price. And the tonality of the MB42Xs, I think, are more pleasing in many different situations. A little bit brighter and a little bit clearer. But like I'm saying, I like the soundstage on this. So I like the OOOs better in a home theater situation, because you can easily just get a matching center and lay it horizontally if you wanted to. But at the same time, I can say that I think the MB42X, I think it has a more complex crossover network. I think it has a more balanced sound. So overall sound quality, just sound quality, I would have to go with the MB42X in this scenario. I know that sounds contradictory, but you know, I have to try to be fair per column, right? Look at each speaker for their strengths and their weaknesses. Now, I would rather have the OOOs with an amp than a PB42X with that's powered. It's tough to say that it's better than the Sonos Beam just because that thing does so much. But if we're just talking about sound quality, I'm gonna go ahead and just put it right here above the Sonos Beam, above the PB42X. I think with a nice amp, I could easily put this above here. I mean, there's a case for it going above the MB42X if you're using it in a home theater. If they were side by side and I had to see which one had the better tonality, I think I would have to go with the MB42X in this case. Soundstage, when you're using them in a home theater situation, Micca OoOs. But this is saying something, considering that the Sonos Beam is more expensive. This LG soundbar is much more expensive and it has a sub. This one is much more expensive. All of these products are more expensive. Pretty much most of them are more expensive. And I still prefer these $99 Micca OoOs if I had to use them in my bedroom. So that's saying something. Anyway, that's it.
So there you have it. At the end of this video, I'll have a quick sound demo of these speakers and a frequency response chart. Make sure to check that out. So anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. And once again, thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys allow me to do this. If you're not already a Patreon, please consider doing so. It really helps me out. So that's it. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hard working every day, I'm stressed out, 24/7, babe. No timeouts. Wish we could fly away.